Hey now, what's happening? Yo, what's up, the one person that's in here? Cheers to you. Thank you for stopping by. What's happening? Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. I think I fixed all the issues I used to have that I was having before, so hopefully it's sounding good on your guys' end. What's up, guys? What is happening? Brent is back. Octopus ears, Magic Man, whatever anybody wants to call me. Call me what you feel like, and I'll feel good about that. Um, let's see. I'm wondering if I need to turn off. I'm hoping it sounds good on that end, but I need to. So I'm getting a lot of audio still from the SM57, and I'm wondering if that is what I need to be doing. Hang on, let's see. I don't know if this is going to be better or worse. Low, okay. Let's see. That's too bad because the sound, guitar sounds great. Okay, thanks, CC. Okay, let's see here. What to do? Because, oh, I see. I think I see it floating there. Okay, let me try this. Check one, check one. Oh, that's probably loud now, right? How's that? Is that better? So the guitar sounds great. Mic low, but I think that's probably where I need it to be right there. Give me a thumbs up if I got the sound right there on the vocal mic now. All right, cool. Yeah, that was okay. Yeah, I figured it out. It's not rocket science, but it's still science. It's not always easy. But dude, CC, good to see you, man. I hope you're still rocking that Kramer Beretta that I sold you. I hope you guys. I never really was able to. Cool, dude. I was never really able to follow up with you on that endeavor, but I kind of heard through the grapevine that you got that all set up and rocking. So I hope that guitar's doing you well. And it's good to see you, man. It's been a while since I've been on here. Been a while since I've talked to you guys. Really, been going through it. Hopefully you notice I've lost a little bit of weight here, trying to be a healthier version of myself, and no longer smoking or drinking or anything like that. So sober guy, if you will, and I'm feeling good about that. Highly recommend it too. It's difficult, but once you kind of get through the initial few months, I think it hopefully will keep getting easier, because I'm enjoying life now more than ever. Laz and I, we went to see Chris Buck a few days ago. Well, it's been almost a week now. We saw Chris Buck last weekend, and if you guys haven't seen, I don't know if Laz has showed it off on his channel yet. A little spoiler alert here. He snagged himself a pretty cool amplifier, and I'm gonna just spoil it. He bought Chris Buck's deluxe reverb off of him that he toured the United States with. So I think that's really, really cool. I'm excited to play through it, truthfully. And Chris Buck was really fun to see live with his band, Cardinal Black. And the highlight for me, truthfully, was him. He was jamming on a Jazzmaster that he tore it up with that Jazzmaster. It was really cool. So shout out to him, shout out to Music Therapy Laz, and hope he's having a good day, and I hope you guys are too. So as you can see, I'm still rocking it's hard to. Yo, Ron Gunner, what's up, dude? What's up? Yeah, CC, I see you there, dude. Rare parts are a challenge, but finding them here and there, that's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, it's a trick right now, dude. It's weird because with all the technology, you think it'd be easier to find stuff like that, but for some reason, I mean, obviously time is a factor, and certain things are just being lost to time and all that. I get that, but it does seem like it's becoming more and more difficult to find things. I'm wondering if people are just like kind of hoarding stuff and waiting for the right time to sell so they can maximize the profit. That's kind of what it seems like to me, but it's hard to say. But as I was saying, it's hard. I wish the color showed up better. There, it kind of shows up there. I'm still rocking the wine red Les Paul with the gold hardware, and this thing just feels right. What's crazy is I didn't realize it was as light as it was. I knew it was like an 8 pound. I thought it was an 8 to 8.5 pound guitar, somewhere in that range. But I was over at Laz's house. We weighed it, and it's just over 7.5 pounds. And it's a solid body, no chambering. 7.5 pounds for a Les Paul is pretty crazy light. Yeah, dude, I'm back in the saddle, Ron. And you might be talking to CC about that. I'm not sure, but I'm feeling a lot better. Kind of made it through I think probably the roughest. Hopefully, the roughest my life gets when it comes to the stuff I went through. Is just like it was kind of bizarre, really. It's hard to even put into words, but it's just the point is I made it to the other side, and I'm kind of on the other side of the growing pains, I sometimes call it, that I went through, and yeah, I'm kind of happy to be back to normal and really feeling better than ever. So that's feeling good about that. Yeah, I mean, this thing is close to bone stock. Well, it's not that close. The pickups are standard. They came with the guitar. They're Alnico 2. I think they're Classic 57s or something like that they're called. Really digging the sound on these. and I had my guitar tech pull out the. They had the. This is one of the guitars where they had the PCB boards, and I, I know it's just PCB because B stands for board, so printed circuit boards. Um, but I had my tech pull out the PCB and replace it, hardwire it, wire it up properly, and I'm really digging it. But I'm still not gonna. It right now has a couple treble bleeds, so it's basically 60s wiring, and I'm knocking around the idea of having to switch it over to 50s wiring. But I'm loving the way it sounds, so we'll see. We'll see what I do. And I'm trying to reduce some recording. I was recording last night, trying to put down some ideas on paper, so to speak, and hoping I can start getting that going. It's difficult, It's a difficult thing to do to write and create music all on your own. So shout out to guys that do that. I know there's a few people that do it at a very high level. I mean, Tame Impala and Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen, come to mind. Where they're, obviously they have a lot more resources, so that, but it's all good, and it doesn't make it any easier really. It means you have more, more options and things like that. So it could be, the opposite in some ways, because you could have that option paralysis. Well, one thing I want to share today too is just kind of a fun thing. I'm going to be changing out the nut on this guitar. This is just the standard plastic Gibson nut that most of their guitars come with, and I'm going to be putting in a black Graphtec nut. And I think with the black and gold, their appointments on the guitar, I think it's going to look really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Should be coming in this Friday or tomorrow, hopefully, and hopefully my tech will be able to have that installed tomorrow. But things happen. He's a busy guy, so who knows? But yeah, trying to get I'm back on top of the wave, so to speak. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like I'm finally back where I need to be, and feeling good about life and prospects of the future and all that kind of stuff, and just happy playing some guitar. And so right now what I'm running through is just pretty much straight into the new Boss Katana Generation 3 100 watt. I have it directly mic'd up with an SM57, and that's all it is SM57 into the Focusrite. And yeah, I mean I did recorded a little sample earlier to try to see what was going on, to make sure I was doing doing things right, and it was sounding good. So hopefully it sounded good on your guys' end too. Yeah, trying to kind of fix some of the errors of the past. Maybe this is part of the issue too. How about that? That's probably a little better. I could probably. Oh, right on. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just background noise from my fan, because I got a fan going on over here to try to keep the heat off me. But I'll keep perfecting this setup over here. I'll try to get something that works a little bit better. In fact, I should probably put the fan on the other side of me, and it'll probably be better that way. Why don't I do that now? No, I can't do it now. I'm just gonna rock out some more. How's that sound? I'm gonna try to change. I'm gonna try to move my fan, see if it helps, because I might as well use this as a way to, test drive, see what's going on. That should be better. I think that's better, right? I think it was just the fan causing me problems. Yeah, sometimes it's hard for me to read. I'm using OBS too. This is the kind of the first time I've used OBS, but it gives me so much more control. And StreamYard was part of the problems I was having before, because I'm using I'm using the Scarlet interface, the Focusrite that Laz has let me use, and basically it's just a dual input. Well, technically it has more, but dual microphone inputs and or XLR inputs to be specific. Cool. And so with the dual XLR inputs, the natural tendency for the Focusrite is to do stereo, which is normal, it's natural. But thanks, dude. Yeah, I love this thing. I love this guitar, man. But so the natural thing is for it to do stereo, which makes sense. But But what I need it to do for the setup that I'm doing is dual mono, you know, because I need the guitar, I need the guitar cabinet, or I need the guitar microphone to be basically going into left and right, not just left. And then the same with the vocal mic. So I can't really figure out how to do that in StreamYard. I'm not sure if it's even possible to do in StreamYard. So when I'm playing guitar and on the jam like this, I need to I need to run it through OBS, I suppose. So this is kind of a learning process for me too. Yo, Rody, what's up, man? Rody's Jam Cave. Cheers. Go check him out, man. He always plays, a lot of live music, and he's it's a really fun watch. I haven't poked my head in there in a while, but I really enjoy watching you guys rock out, and I hope you guys are still doing all that kind of stuff. I did take a break from the YouTube thing, not really because I wanted to, because I needed to. I kind of did a lot of. One thing I've been doing too is clearing out all of the residual internet BS for my head for a long time, because I was just putting too much stuff in my head that didn't need to be there, and so I've been using this time to clear my head, get a kind of gear up for the second half of my life. Essentially, that's kind of the short way of putting it. So and trying to be a better version of myself, but also just trying to be trying to get where I want to go with life and all that kind of stuff. So live stream next Tuesday, right there. Check it out, guys. Rody's Jam Cave. It's a lot of fun. They always they always entertain, and they're really good people, and just it's a real fun place to be. So go check that out next Tuesday. What time? I'm assuming later in the in the evening kind of thing, or afternoon, evening sort of thing. But go ahead, feel free to let everybody know. That's funny. Yeah, everybody's got their own life to live. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to live or what to do, but it's just what I've needed to do for myself. 9 p.m. So 6 p.m. over here on the West Coast, and if you should know your time zone by now. If you're an adult, right on. Yeah, Music Therapy Laz, dude, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're having a good day. Um, I know you're hopefully doing your show tonight. Be excited to check in on that. Maybe have to pop in on your show tonight. Let me know if you want to send me a link or something if you're going to do that. But I know you're a busy guy, so there's only so much time in the day. So if you end up doing your show, send me a link. I'll pop in there tonight. It'd be fun. I'm excited to get back to playing guitar. I feel like I've gotten a lot of my chops back, but I'm still trying to get my calluses back, trying to play as much as I can, and be a I feel like I'm good at guitar again, kind of thing. And just a small little thing. I hope I get it, but I did apply at Skip's Music to see if they would hire me on to help them out over there. So I'm got my fingers crossed for that. Hopefully that goes well. Bonkers, what's up, dude? Long time no see, man. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well, man. Cheers, man. Oh man. Right on, dude. Yeah, that'd be great, Laz. Yeah, I'd be very happy to pop in on the show tonight. Sounds like a lot of fun right now. Um, dude, that's so. I mean, I'm sure everybody has the reasons for getting upset over the noise and all that kind of stuff, but it's like people should be understanding. Like we're fixing things so people could have a quality of life. People should be understanding about that stuff. But I know people always have their hang-ups, their issues and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you got to deal with however many people are living there. I don't know, hundred more. I don't know. A lot of people's problems. So and that's just the tip of the iceberg for Laz's life too. So Oh, I should make a mention too. I mentioned the Chris Buck show earlier, Laz, and I might have mentioned something else, but there's only a couple people here, so I'll let you, dive into the Chris Buck Cardinal Black show last weekend. But a highlight for me was the it was Indian and Nepalesian food that we had. That's funny. Gave him some earplugs. That's good. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully they get over their problems with that. But we went to this. Laz and I went to this place called Nepa, Nepa, and it was Indian food and Nepalesian food. It's basically northern Indian food, and it was some of the best food I've ever had. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. And I don't mean just Indian food. I mean I didn't. You could you could tell me if this is wrong. I basically told them that I was like I didn't know Indian food could be this good. That was like I didn't mean it in a bad way, but it was like I've only had kind of I don't know. I've never had Indian food that was that good. I've barely had food that was that good. It was I thought it was really amazing, and so what was cool is that I really enjoyed the food, so I was showering them with compliments, all this kind of stuff, and they brought us some free food. Right on, yeah. So what time's the show at tonight, Laz? And so I was showering them with compliments, and they ended up bringing us some free food and stuff too, which was cool. Not even expected or warranted really, but I was like very obviously very thankful. And we got to talking, and they found out that I was a chef, and they invited me back into the kitchen, and I was kind of they allowed me to check out what they were doing back there and how they were getting stuff done, and that was just a real highlight. It was a real highlight of the night for sure. It was cool. It's been a while since that's happened, since I got invited back into a kitchen like that, and it was cool. Right on, man. 7 p.m. Hey, Keith H. What's up, dude? Welcome in, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we got a regular hang going on now, man. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done this, but I feel like I was saying earlier, I'm feeling better than ever. So I'm ready to ready for gearing up for the second half of my life. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Kind of made it through all of the headaches of my past and trying to get to a point where I'm happy, truthfully. So yeah. Um, but I wish the color would show up better because this is a nice wine red guitar. But let me see. That's a little better, a little bit. But excuse me, doing this on the fly here. All right, let me do a little jam real quick. levels look like they're being weird right now, but hang on. Let me know what you guys are hearing on your end. Tim Thomas, what's up, dude? Long time no see. What's up, bro? I hope you're doing well, man. Right on. I'm just I got a little I got the Ditto X4 here on the floor. If you guys remember those, it's I'm trying to make it into a live tool for me for this kind of thing. Obviously, obviously for this kind of thing, but also for if I decide to go out and play out live. Uh, yeah, that's a little chord progression I've 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 liked for a little while now. I'm always like I was up late recording last night, trying to put down an idea, and it's difficult. And like the guitar part of it's not too difficult for me. I can kind of figure it out, but I'm also trying to put lyrics to it and sing and all that kind of stuff too, along with the guitar, and not even playing and singing, but literally just recording the guitar, singing over it, and then recording a second guitar part. And I figured out a lot overnight, but it's difficult, it's difficult to write something because the problem for me is I'm a perfectionist, which I know a lot of us here are, being musicians, a lot of us are perfectionists, and you play back something the next day and you're just like, man, it's just not what I want or what feels right now. So I gotta go back over it and figure out, what I could do to change it to make to feel like to feel better about putting something out like that. And part of this too is I'm hoping that Music Therapy Laz and I are going to start collaborating and going back and forth with ideas with this kind of stuff, so I can possibly send him what I put down last night and see if we can figure it out. Because obviously two heads are better than one, but especially when it's someone like Laz who's knows his stuff, and he's also very hardworking and passionate person. So uh, there you go. So yeah, what I was trying to work on last night. So I also need to get that Boss foot controller so I could just switch between the channels right at my feet. That's going to make a big difference. I might go get that today. We'll see. I have a couple things for sale. I was kind of like telling myself, no, make sure you sell the stuff you have to sell first, and then go buy the controller. But it would be really nice right now just to be able to pop between the channels and all that kind of thing. So we'll see. But so that's like that's the basic idea of the song right there. Just that three chord major progression, and then but also playing minor over it. So like that sort of vibe is kind of what I'm trying to go for with the song. But once I started layering it with, so basically, I mean, I'm not necessarily a singer either. So trying to write, I wrote the lyrics for it. I'm feeling okay about the lyrics. I need to keep improving the lyrics because they're not bad, but they're a little bit corny. And but it's kind of where I want it to be too. I want it to just be just a relaxing song for the most part. But it's like, right on, Brody. Take care, man. Yeah, I'm going to be ending here really soon. I'm going to end here at around 11 o'clock. So, yeah, thanks to you guys for stopping by and hanging out. Really appreciate it. And, yeah, I'm going to try to make this a regular thing again, where maybe I'll do this every Thursday. I'll to be. It would be good to have like a regular schedule, and I think doing it the same day Laz does his show would be an easy way for me to remember to do it, truthfully, because I get caught up doing other stuff. But also my schedule's going to be changing, so it's to be determined. But I'll let you guys know what's going to be happening. And yeah, I guess I'll just stop it here. We're pretty close to 11 o'clock, close to an hour, and like I said, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'm going to keep trying to improve my setup here. I feel like I'm doing a lot better today than I was, with the stream, better today than I was before. So, Yeah, I'll. Oh, look at this. So Ryan Hall's. He's rolling in at the end, like Dale Palmer. It's good to see you, Ryan. We need to catch up, man. I haven't talked to you in a while. I'll have to give you a call or something. Um, yeah, I've been. Yeah. Um, yeah, dude. Right on. It's so good to see you guys, man. Truthfully, and it's been a part of my life that's missing, but I needed to. I needed to do what I went. I had to go through what I went through. I suppose. I don't know how else to say it. So I'm on the other side of a lot of things, and so I'm looking forward to the future. I suppose. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, we gotta catch up, dude. I miss seeing your videos. I haven't checked out your videos in a while. I need to do that because that was a fun thing for me to do. Is when you're jamming, doing your thing. I would just sit here and play little single note stuff over it, little solo whatever's over it, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So I got to do that again. I got to get back into my groove here on YouTube. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for today. Thanks a lot, you guys. Thanks for stopping by, and yeah, it's kind of it's kind of pretty amazing. I feel like I'm getting some really good sounds out of this katana, and it's one of those things where the Mark One and Mark Two katanas, I felt like, oh, these sound fine, these are good, and like a couple days in, I would not necessarily feel that way. I'd play for a couple days and be like, yeah, sounds all right. But this, like every time, sometimes I have to tweak the sound a little bit to get what I want, but I've consistently felt like I'm getting a good tone out of this thing. So I'm really, really happy about that, and I feel like they've really made an improvement with this Mark III. And I got the 100 watt, so I think that was the way to go. I think the 50 watt I wouldn't have felt the same way. So it's making me want to try the artist, but for now, this is like perfect for my needs. I have it set up right next to me right here. I could literally touch it, from where I'm sitting. It's sitting right next to me, and yeah, I'm gonna listen back to this and see how it sounds, and kind of do some adjustments, and try to just keep making it a better experience for you guys, but also obviously for me too, because I don't, I want to be, happy with what I put out there. So rock on, guys. You guys all take care. I'll see you tonight on Liza's show, 7 o'clock. You guys rock. Take care.